All right, hello everyone. My name is Ricardo, and we are back with another video. And today we are focusing on guide tone voicings, and we're focused on 2-5-1s, right? If you know jazz, you know jazz is full of thirds and sevenths. We usually play it in our right hands, and when we're doing bass, we usually just do singular notes, or you can do double octaves as so. Now, the purpose of this exercise is to get you used to the voicings in the sense of tone leading and voice leading. So you see, we're not doing a lot of big jumps here. We're not jumping from B flat, E flat to doing up here to doing down here. We ain't doing all of that, right? It's very stepwise motion, as you can see. We move no more than either a semitone or a whole tone. So we don't see us moving in major thirds or augmented sevenths, none of that crazy, augmented fourths, excuse me. Okay. So yeah, I'm not going to go over this entire piece because you need to kind of do it for yourself. So the advice that I give you is print out, if you can, this sheet of music. I'll put a link of a PDF in the description. Print that out. Secondly, once you print it out, write in the notes. I purposely sometimes write in notes, sometimes just as my own guide tones when I'm doing this, even though I can read sheet music, been doing it for 10 years, but it's always good to kind of help yourself a little bit, ease it. You always got to challenge yourself. So let's just look at the first stanza. And if you don't know, the term stanza is also a term that we see used in poetry or you see used in literature. The correct musical term would be systems. You'll hear that in college when the music theory, you'll hear them refer to go to the first system, which is just referring to the staves, okay? S-T-A-V-E-S. But once again, I like to use the word stanza. So let's look at the first stanza. And so in our left hand, we got E and A, and these are half note notations, okay? So we have E, and we're going to go down a fifth. It's a fourth, but going down is a fifth to that A. Then we go back up a fourth to D. All right, now let's look at this movement. In our right hand, we are above middle C with D, and we have G. When it comes to fingerings, you can kind of use your own personal fingerings. I like to use most of the time 1 and 4. Every so often you might see me use a 5, but mostly 1 and 4 you'll see me use. So let's just take that. So we have E, in our right hand we have D and G. Then we go down a half step to that A and G. I go down a fifth to that A, and then I'm going to resolve it going to that F sharp, and then going up to the D. All right. So once again, let's hear that in real time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's continue. Then what we're going to do is we're going to lower everything by a half step to get that minor tonality, which is going to be our C and F, C being our seventh for D minor, and F being our third. Remember, we're just doing thirds and sevenths. That is the basis of jazz piano, jazz guitar, bass guitar, however you want to put it. We're always focused on our thirds and sevenths. And the reason for that is because the third and seventh determines the quality of our chord, right? The third gives us whether it's major or minor, and then the seventh lets us know if it's a dominant 7 or a major 7, okay? And so, for example, we have this E minor 7 chord, and it's a flat 7, excuse me, not dominant, but a flat 7. We have our E minor 7 because in the key of E major, we know we have that D sharp, right? But when we look at it from an E minor 7 standpoint, we are going to lower that third by a half step. So we go from D sharp to just D natural. All right, let's look at the D minor 7 to G7 to C major 7. All right. And please pay attention to how they notate it. Some of us might want to go up to G, but it's notating that we go down, right? So some of you might go D, G, C, and that's not how it's notated. It's notated D going down, G, then to C, which is here, okay? Because I was having that issue too. I was practicing, and I know this by heart, right? I can play this entire piece without looking, but I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going in the wrong direction. Can't do that. All right, yeah, so let's get back to it. So we got D minor 7, then we go down to G, we lower it to B and F, then we go up to C major 7, and we lower our F to E. And look at just how beautiful just these simple 3-note chords sound. Let's take it from the beginning and just listen to the cycle, right? And a good tune to practice for your thirds and sevens would be All the Things You Are. That tune is in the key of F minor, but it goes pretty much through that circle of fourths rhythm there. So yeah, let's just do this real quick. And so you see me doing a bit of inflection here. I don't want to get bored with this. Once you kind of learn the basics, then you want to add your own little melody to it. You want to add your own little flair to it. That is how you're going to grow as a jazz musician. Can't be simple. You can't have no soul. Like, you got to have soul, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you playing this piece and it sounds like an exercise, you ain't doing it right. It needs to sound like something beautiful. Like, I should be able to go to sleep to this. I should be able to put this on and not hear an exercise, but actually hear a song. So that's the point that you want to get to as a jazz musician. When you're reading music, don't be so stuck to these pages, because you're just going to fail. Nobody's going to want to play with you because you ain't got no swing to it. You're trash. You're trash. And we don't do trash. All right? No trash. Okay, now let's go to the third stanza. All right? The third stanza switches a bit. We see it says form A2, and we see that we are now dealing with some flat keys, some black keys. So yeah, let's go to that E flat minor. All right. So at this point in time, when you're in the second stanza, you're a bit lower on a keyboard. So when you get to the third stanza, they raise you back just a little bit higher, about an octave higher. Okay. So let's get there. We got E flat with our left hand, D flat, and G flat in our right hand. We got this E flat minor 7 chord. Then we're going to go down to A flat, and then we get this A flat, C, G flat, and then we resolve it to that D flat major. All right, we drop everything down by a half step. Now we got that C sharp. And you might be wondering, wait a minute, this note you play, Ricardo, is D flat, but now you're saying this is C sharp. These are tones known as enharmonic. When a note has the exact same tone but a different name, the correct term would be an enharmonic note. Okay, so not only is this C sharp, but it's also D flat. For example, we can go to A flat. This A flat is also G sharp. How can I prove it to you? I'm glad you asked. All right, here's A flat, go down a half step. Here's G sharp, go up a half step. Boom, G sharp, A flat, A flat. All right, let's get back to the piece. All right, here we go. Now we got C sharp minor. We're gonna go down to that F sharp, and then we're gonna go to that B major. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna do. It's not a long video. We ain't here to be here all day. It's your job to take the tips that I have given you and apply it to the tune. When you're learning, you want to add other stuff to this. Pick up a jazz song, something like maybe Autumn Leaves. You can pick up something like Stella by Starlight. Stella by Starlight, that's one of my favorite songs. I think I auditioned for that song with All-State Jazz Band back in high school. Beautiful song. You can also find any Thursday 7th etudes online, and it will literally have these type of voicings here. But your job is to actually apply it in real time. Don't be so stuck to this paper. So yeah, I hope you have a good rest of the day. Let's play something out.